News tonight. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I'm Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataa Museveni, has urged all organizations and institutions that play a role in the education value chain to explore ways of supporting the recovery efforts of the education sector in the face of additional challenges arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. Mrs. Museveni was delivering a keynote address during an education symposium that she hosted at State House in Entebbe. Banadiga reports.
The Education Symposium, hosted by the Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni, at State House in Entebbe, and the first of its kind, was attended by ministers, ambassadors, partners in development, representatives of the business community in Uganda, and senior officers from the education, finance, health and ICT ministries, and government agencies. Speaking to the gathering, the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said the closure of schools for nearly 2 years has had a serious effect on the education sector and the economy in general, hence the need for stakeholders to ensure schools reopen safely come January 2022.
And the future of this nation, I know and I believe that all of you would like to see our schools good schools, and to see our children really be educated in a very good and fresh environment. So I thank you for being here this afternoon. Mrs.
Museveni reported that government has committed resources under the education sector budget to continue supporting government and government-aided schools with capitation grants and staff salaries. She also said that the Ministry of Education and Sports, in collaboration with the Minister of Health, will continue with the dissemination of the COVID-19 standard operating procedures for education institutions. She added that government has put in place measures to support the teachers, including a grant of 20 billion Uganda shillings extended to private schools teachers through the Microfinance Support Center. An opportunity was given to the private school owners to access loans from Uganda Development Bank. The contribution of employees and employers of NSSF was also waived off for a special period, and payment of pay-as-you-earn was also deferred. Education institutions with outstanding loans were advised to approach their respective banks, reschedule their loans, and vaccination of teachers, non-teaching staff and students above 18 in education institutions has been prioritized. According to a problem statement presented by Dr. Kedres to the agenda, the direct education standards, interventions that require urgent support as schools reopen include engaging learners in accelerated learning to help them recover the lost time.
Many of our learners have possibly regressed because they have even forgotten the little that they had learned. The 2 years out of school have introduced many learners to different negative societal influences, and there is a high likelihood of dropout that the sector is working hard to mitigate.
The participants at the Education Symposium responded positively to the First Lady's call to support the recovery of education in Uganda by making generous pledges, both in cash and in kind.
Thanks, Bernard, with that report. Now, at least 2 people are confirmed dead and scores critically injured following an explosion that went off in Kisenyi Cell, Kakoba Division in Mbarara City. The explosion went off at midday, and according to police, it was caused by scrap dealers who were attempting to cut a gas cylinder.
Shock this afternoon engulfed residents of Mbarara City following an explosion in Kisenyi Cell Kakoba Division that killed 2 people, leaving scores critically injured. The injured are currently admitted at Mbarara Hospital. The deceased were only identified as Becca and Hussein, all scrap dealers in the area.
Nous avons attendu okusala bomo ne batuka bwetu netta abantu abadaji sala afididdewo abadamu kwatiddewo afididdewo abalaba batte mu ddwaliro.
The tragic incident happened at around midday. According to police, the deceased were trying to cut the gas cylinder, which eventually burst.
That is Hussein and Baker. Those are the only names we have for now. But as our investigations go on, we'll be able to get their full details and where they come from. We also have 3 people who are injured. That is Kamsin Osham.
This explosion occurred at a time when the country is making strides to recover from numerous bomb blasts that recently hit Kampala. Here in Mbarara city, majority had suspected that it was a bomb explosion until police clarified on the mixed speculations.
The current information that we are getting from police that has investigated so far this matter, they say these people were cutting a gas cylinder which was very heavy, and as they were cutting it, it burst. And I think it's the one which caused all this damage, killed the 2 people.
Eyewitnesses told UBC that the deceased were trying to cut the cylinder, which had also been brought in as a scrap object. Security was beefed up in the area to deter there would be any occurrences of such. Lieutenant Colonel James Mwesije, the resident city commissioner, appealed to the scrap dealers to be careful while buying or handling metals.
It's high time the city leadership, the city council comes in to regulate these scrap dealers. You see, they buy scrap from wherever they get them. So it's high time they are regulated. It's high time really security focuses on them, on these areas.
However, by press time, the bodies of the deceased had been rushed at Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital for post-mortem as investigations into the tragic occurrence continues.
News indeed from Mbarara there. Now, Uganda would shine more in the fight against HIV/AIDS if the moral question was addressed. The increasing number of hotels and unregulated guest houses has been cited as one of the drivers for the spread of HIV/AIDS in the country. Now, former Minister for Ethics and Integrity, Dr. James Nsaba decries increased priority on money by hotel proprietors at the expense of national values. Here is our reporter, Henry Okrot.
Short or long?
We cannot avoid having lodges.
Night or day?
Because even people who are not doing that will have to go to lodges to have accommodation.
These are said to be some of the questions often posed to people seeking services at some guest houses in Uganda. Is it a question of poverty?
First of all, the motivation is greed.
Morality?
You can be poor, but proud of yourself.
Or character?
It's not every person who is poor that practices prostitution.
The case is, however, different here at Gracious Palace Hotel in the Lango city of Lira in northern Uganda. For such people seen seeking services of this hotel,
so he created a woman as a helpmate for him.
They must have gone through this.
And to cling unto him and him alone, as long as both officially. Do you? Yes, I do.
These magical words must have been said to each other, or at least something that proves that the two are a couple.
We want to hold them in trust that if somebody identifies himself as a husband to somebody he's traveled with, we want to trust that is it. And the kind of accommodation arrangement they go for must suit that kind of arrangement.
Short of this, leaves this Christian-founded hotel with no other option but to turn away potential clients. This is done to promote morals and values, which in the long run prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections including HIV/AIDS.
There are some guest houses which belong to churches. When you go there with a woman and you have no marriage certificate, you cannot stay with that lady. I think that one would be better if we practiced it.
However, that may not be proven at that point because it will need documentation ascertaining whether this is the status these people are in. But as a private entity and offering safety and security, we end at that. We don't coerce to people to go ahead and prove that status.
The hotel industry in Uganda has been growing all the years, which has also attracted low-level guest houses into the business. Unfortunately, some of these are not well regulated. This comes at the expense of morals and values, which in the end has encouraged prostitution.
Hotel owners are in two categories. There are those who are morally upright. There are those who have grown up on a menu of moral values. There are others who haven't, and their primary objective is to make money. How they make it is not their business. If they see a robber coming in and provided he leaves money behind, they will not care. If you see prostitutes coming in and it's about prostitution, they will not care.
Music has been composed.
The more we reach out to the youth, I think it's the right way to go.
Parents have been cautioned.
Abakalina munyikira okumira eddagala. Abatakalina banange mwekuume.
And children have been guided.
Let us not leave them with untrusted persons.
Out there somewhere.
But HIV/AIDS remains a thorn in the flesh of Uganda's health sector.
The days are long.
But with the mushrooming number of hotels and guest houses, some of which are said not to be officially known, values in society have eroded. This has put the life of the girl child at risk, making the aspect of morality a national concern in fighting HIV/AIDS.
In admitting minors, we emphasize they must be accompanied by an adult who also has no questionable behavior.
I believe government should engage these people who own hotels and other such places. So to say, look, we are partners. We have a problem. And this problem we have got to sort out together. If we don't, as I have said, you will have a situation where in the end you have more immoral people than moral people.
Scenes like these often invite emotions and tears in the feelings and eyes of deceased people's loved ones. But imagine a scene caused by HIV/AIDS, an ailment known to be preventable worldwide.
Uganda has led the way, but it would be an exceptional leader if the moral question was addressed. It hasn't been addressed, it's not being addressed, and that explains why this virus continues to linger around.
Uganda has been in the world news since mid-1980s as a nation, severely hit by HIV/AIDS and reversing a generalized HIV epidemic in sub-Saharan Africa.
Alone had to be completed as my legacy to Uganda and the world.
President Yoweri Museveni has been in the lead against the scourge, a gospel and struggle that still continues.
Today it's me.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
It's me and you, we gotta stand up and fight.
The moral aspect they are being questioned in as far as the fight against HIV/AIDS is concerned. Thanks so much, Henry Okrut, for that story there. Now, NRM diehards from Nakulabi Zone C in Ruwaga Division celebrated after their candidate, Christine Namata, was nominated for the Women Councillorship post in the forthcoming by-elections. The election preparations follow the death of the elected position holder, Sozi Nabale, also mother to Christine Namata. Let's get more in this report.
Today, the Electoral Commission has officially ended the registration of aspirants in the next by-elections for councillorship across the country, an exercise which started yesterday. In Rugged Division, NRM supporters stormed the Electoral Commission to escort their party card holder for Nakulabi Zone C representative, who seeks to replace her late mother Sozi Nabale, who stood in this position. Christine Namata was in the company of Kampala Central Mayor Salimu Uhuru and other NRM party supporters.
Era nsaba Katonda ampa amaanyi n'obusobozi nsobola okukolera ekitundu kyange n'okusingako ebisanja ebize biyita era nsaba Katonda nyweze.
The celebrations have left Inupuzi flag bearer nominated yesterday Rebecca Nakakawa in utter shock following her arrest on allegations of staging demonstrations in the Kampala suburb. By press time, her home was still under siege by police. However, she managed to speak to the press.
Kuva jjo banzoganya banzize no banzize lipaka wetwatedege embeera ne banta era ekibaleze ndowooza kujja kulabo bawendi ekyobulungi sibaddeewo madengezeko ku division kwogerako ne meeya neera wenkomyewo nsanzewo poliisi n'essaawa za kati situuse na waka neebuuza lwaki banzoganya.
Elsewhere, supporters of FDC also escorted their candidate, Sylvia Namulondo, to Ntina Electoral Commission in Akawa Division as she sought nomination for Woman Councillor Mutungo Zone 4.
One people, one Uganda. One people, one Uganda.
Byonga direct councillor ow'ekitundu ekyo oluvannyuma olwaje agenda okulekawo ekifo ekyo n'afuna omulimu mu palamenti owa Nuuku nze FDC nvuddeyo okubeera nga nkiikirira ekitundu kyaffe ekya zone 4 abatuuze ba zone 4 mwenna abali eyo mbasaba obuwagizi n'akalulu munonde nja kubaweereza.
I'm Ivan Juko reporting for UBC News in Kampala.
Now, in a move aimed at annihilating the ADF, the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the Democratic Republic of Congo forces have jointly conducted airstrikes and artillery on ADF's main camps in eastern DRC. The early morning strikes focused on the ADF's bases in eastern Congo. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Buyekwaso confirmed these developments but declined to divulge deep into the matter and operation. Samuel Senono reports.
The UPDF, together with the Congolese army, have this morning conducted air and ground strikes targeting ADF terrorists in Congo. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Buyekwaso confirmed this in a tweet posted online, and I quote, "This morning, we have launched joint air and artillery strikes against the ADF camps with our Congolese allies," end quote. Buyekwaso further revealed in a statement that they attacked a number of targets for the ADF who have been killing, looting, and abducting innocent people in eastern DRC and using improvised explosive devices to kill people in Uganda. She adds that the targets were accurately hit and operations against the terrorists will continue as they look at other targets of opportunity during ground operations. These strikes targeted the Allied Democratic Forces militia who have been based in Congo since the late 1990s and have been blamed for killing hundreds. According to investigations, the recent wave of terror attacks in Uganda, which have claimed lives and left scores injured, have been orchestrated by this terror group. Uganda was given a green light by DRC's President Felix Tshisekedi to pursue the ADF terrorists who are on the run and camping in Congo. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
We'll now take a very short break and we'll return with business. To stay with us.
Guletede MTN Kabode esimu ya smart gyosobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yeneerye yakabi ate nga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa yintaneti kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga *655*2# okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nnusu 15 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
The Taxpayers Appreciation Season is here. We recognize, celebrate, and award Uganda's top taxpayers. Be part of the online Bombaya Business Summits and stand a chance to win smartphones, gift sets, hampers, and loads more. Visit our social media pages to find out more.
We appreciate you for paying your taxes. We're proud to be Ugandan. We celebrate you. Oh, we celebrate you. Taxpayers of Uganda. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Uganda together.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Raising Voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voices.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Umeme informs customers that due to the vandalized transmission line that evacuates electricity from Owen Falls Dam to Lugogo substation, some areas in and around Kampala will experience load shedding. UETCL technical team is working around the clock to restore the line. We regret inconveniences caused. Management, Umeme, powering Uganda.
Introducing Learn From Home Data Bundles. Customized bundles for you and your family to study or work seamlessly from the comfort of your home. Use any of these affordable data bundles to connect to your MiFi, routers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones while avoiding unwanted internet exposure and ensuring undivided attention during online classes. Enjoy instant access to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and selected educational websites. Dial *175# to buy your Learn From Home bundle today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Guletedde MTN Kabode esimu ya smart gy'osobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yene eri eya kabi ate nga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa yintaneti kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga *655*2# okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nnusu 15,000 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Did you know that corruption cripples Uganda's development? It's time for you and I to put an end on this. We can work together to end corruption. Let it be your responsibility to report to the established anti-corruption agencies. A corruption-free Uganda starts with you and I. Your right, your role. Say no to corruption. This message is brought to you by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit.
Welcome back from that break and this news tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at business news. Civil society organizations under their umbrella Publish What You Pay have called on government to disclose oil contracts for citizens' participation. At a media briefing held at Fairway Hotel here in Kampala, the activists said government must urgently disclose key major agreements signed in the East Africa Crude Oil Pipeline Company shareholders, including transportation, tariff and shareholders agreements, among others. We have more in this report.
And the agreements are not known to the citizens. Majorly the content is not known to the citizens, to the extent that even the parliamentarians have not had some serious scrutiny of the agreements whose provisions they are supposed to ratify through the enactment of this law.
And it's going to attract political interference. And by the end of the day, it is the common Ugandans who rely on public services.
There is no way we can be able to monitor as civil society organizations and the public the management of the revenues that is contained within some of the clauses of the agreements that we actually do not know about.
We need to disclose these key contracts to the public such that they participate and they own and they actually gain confidence in government that this will finally translate into value for money.
Government must disclose the key major agreements that Uganda signed with the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Company shareholders. Government should systematically disclose and explain to the public and the mining communities in particular the revenues, volumes, and critical information on mining production.
We have fear that the country will not benefit. So if the government doesn't release contracts, there is an option of going to court to compel government to release those contracts. Yeah, according to Access to Information Act.
News now, and national rally drivers have donated items and cash of 11 million shillings to vulnerable children in Jinja. Now this after the Sexy Speed Motorsport Championship held in Jinja over the weekend. The vulnerable home found in Kainogoga in Jinja district received food items, mattresses and cash, boosting the welfare of the young ones. Led by Rajiv Ruparelia, they believe that the cash and scholastic materials will be key when the kids return to school.
To bank it officially, and I'm going to send it over by check to yourself, because my that we are going to grow our fan base to be one of the biggest in Africa. You know,
a driver spends, let's say, 3 million shillings on an event average. Raise 100,000 more. Okay? And let's go together. I don't need your money. Let's put it in a kitty. All of us put our money in that kitty. And let's all agree with the drivers and the teams and everyone and say, who are we giving this to? And can we all go together as a community, as drivers or riders, and give it to the home? It would be something nice. It would be nice for people to realize that drivers are just as human as we are, and they're very unapproachable as not what we thought they were. So for me, that is something we need to push.
Yeah, because we believe rally is not just about racing cars. Rally is about tourism, rally is about travel, rally is about hospitality, rally is a business, rally is a whole array of things that we're not capitalizing. Social work. I don't see any of the other teams coming out, and we hope we are setting a trend for them to start doing what we're doing, because social work is extremely important. The cash that we're going to be giving you, I don't believe in giving you cash, so I'm going to take the cash, I'm going to bank it officially.
And that sports story brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight. We shall be coming back later on at 10 for our second and final edition. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni and Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. See you at 10.